This is the Learn Bajan. We could call us the Webster's Dictionary for all things Bajan. So if you ever wanted to learn anything about Barbadian culture, if you come in to visit, if you came to visit already, you want to learn a little bit more about the people, you want to touch down, you want to rub shoulders with the locals in a more genuine way, this is the place to come. Check us out, like the Facebook page, or check us out on Instagram as well. And our aim in doing this live chat is so that anytime you come through and you check us out, and this is every other week now on Wednesdays around this time-ish, anytime you check us out, you should come away feeling as though you learned a little bit of something about Bajan culture that you didn't know before. You should feel a little bit more immersed in the culture. Even my Bajan people living here might stop and think something that they never thought about before about our culture, our dialect. We are cultural enthusiasts. So speaking of cultural enthusiasts this afternoon, here with Luke Lascaris, social influencer, publisher of Bajan Mag.
Yeah, that's me.
Shake hands.
Thanks for having me, Corey.
Yes. For those of you who don't know, Luke dislikes me intensely. So
Wow, okay. That's
that's
where we're going.
but
Okay.
we will shake hands for the sake of the
For
camera.
the sake of the camera.
Yeah. But anyhow, very happy to have you. You're always someone that I intended to have on the show. Why did I intend to have you on your show, Luke? Today's topic, today's Bajanism, fat friends. And what is a fat friend? The whole reason this idea came about was a Facebook status. I thought it was last year. When I went and searched it last night, it was actually 2018. And our friend Sharita had posted it. Shout out Sharita if you're
Shout out
there
Sharita
watching.
Granum.
Yeah, Sharita posted a status during Crop Over, our local carnival, about people who you run into in fact, who you know, and who speaks to you, who you don't speak to, how people expect to be spoken to or not spoken to, how it's a whole production. Luke was the first person that commented on the status because naturally, as a Bazadi man, part of what you do, a big part of your work is frequenting fetes in Barbados and so
In
on.
Barbados, across the Caribbean, fats, festivals, carnivals, whatever have you.
So, like, what's the definition of a fat friend? Or maybe let me ask you a better question and then lead into that. Like, when you land in a fat, any fat, was the scene for you in terms of who you looking for, who you not looking for when you land in a fat? Or am I talking about your business?
Well, nobody can beat me, so it don't necessarily talking about business. But for me, when I land in a fest, it's just you normally go to find a spot, which is the spot that you'll be for
Filming.
just not necessarily for filming, just that you be at. Like you don't just aimlessly knock up and down. In fact, you find a spot that you want to take in the vibe and soak it up, whether that's close to the stage, whether that's further away, whether that's down the bar, whether that's close to the bar, that type of stuff.
Okay, so you ain't looking for nobody. You're just
No,
looking for space.
No. Just looking for a space, the space that you kind of like vantage point. You stand up there, you're taking the fat, then you say, okay, going to bar or going for food if it's food fat included, and then you don't really look for people. You see people in the fat, but you
So,
don't look for them.
all Lukey friends out there, if you ran into Luke in a fat and he seemed happy to see you, he really wasn't looking for you. He was studying himself. Anyhow, I
That's
just catch
correct.
myself interrupt you. Don't let me be Donald
You
Trump.
are.
Let me talk about fat friends. Like, what are the specs? What's the definition of a fat friend? 'Cause this is something you and I talk about offline.
It is. For a fat friend, is somebody you see outside of the event. You see only in the event that you possibly would see rarely outside of the event. So, like, for me, fat friends is people that I see specifically around crop over time at different fets throughout the season that I wouldn't really necessarily find or I would not associate with outside of there, or I would see probably briefly every here and there outside, but it's not anybody that I would like deliberately associate with. So
And like, just for the people who never been to Barbados, we're an extremely tiny country, so chances are that
Tiny.
you run into anybody, any given place that you know from elsewhere, but especially in fetes, and especially during crop over, which is when a lot more people tend to be
A lot
out,
more people come out,
socializing. I think a basic feature of actually the interaction with a quote unquote fat friend is alcohol.
yes,
Alcohol,
Definitely.
revelry, music
Absolutely,
involved,
yeah.
people under the influence, possibly one or both of you, and you find yourself hailing up people who you don't talk
you
to
don't talk
outside
to.
the fetes.
Yeah, you don't
You see
speak
this
to them
person
outside
all
the
the
fest.
time. you know this person knows you, but you don't speak for one reason or another. But when crop over or wrong, or you land in a fat, but specifically during crop over, you and this buddy is the best of friends. Alcohol involved, music involved.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
like, who is worthy of a hail and who is not worthy of a hail, Luke?
It is an intense process. Okay, it is you go through the different levels, the different different schema to the way that this operates.
Okay.
So the people who like, as the Sahas has said, it's a whole production
All right.
where you see people in fats. There are people who will come to greet you. Obviously, you greet them. There are people who you don't know, who through like are just like further
A
away
few
fat
times
friends.
removed from
Right,
you. Okay,
exactly.
uh-huh.
So you kind of you look at them and they'll look at you, and then there's that kind of awkward dance to figure out who's gonna hail who
First.
right,
Who
because
can take the risk?
exactly, because you could speak to somebody first saying you're being good natured, you speak to somebody first and people just give you blank stares or let you up and down, give you that kind of hey, how you going, and it's like, how the fuck can I talk to you?
I can get into the ways of that in a second. I personally don't understand it, and I am.
It is a whole like there's a whole psychology behind it. There's as Sharita properly described it, is a production.
So let me ask you straight up in front of people camera. Use duck people? In
Yes,
fact,
absolutely,
You ain't even
absolutely.
shame.
I ain't shame at all,
You ain't
especially if
even
it's a
shame.
breakfast fat and I don't want to talk to you and I
white
gone
breakfast fat.
because at least I gone shade so you can't see my eyes. So we I can't met for. So if we I met for, you don't know that we I already met for. I just keep looking through the crowd and then go on about my business because
You're such a nasty individual.
and that's it. It's like
So what's the reasons for not speaking to a person?
it's like you don't want to engage in conversation with them. Maybe you've had a bad experience. Maybe it's been just like before, where you try to heal them and then behave funny, or them behave in an offhandish way, or them they give you a vibe that you didn't like, so you avoid them. It's like I don't.
Or you just don't rate the body?
Or you just don't rate the body, and things might change that you might not rate the body anymore. That type of stuff.
So, like, what's the big deal though about speaking to somebody? Why
I
is it
don't
so
know.
hard?
It is really. I guess I don't know if it's a Barbadian thing, it's a Barbadian psychology, because I really haven't dug too deep down into it, because they're weird things. Like I've had people who I would see in Barbados who in like not necessarily at crop over events, let's say at like Jamestown or in the Gap or Six Mix or something like that, and they wouldn't necessarily speak. And you go over into another country like Jamaica or Trinidad and they see you at Carnival, best of friends. Come over and they want to hear you. Hug you. Hey, yo,
Yeah,
how you doing?
didn't
I know you
expect to
down
see
here.
you
Yeah, I
here.
didn't expect to see you out here. And all of a sudden, you're in a group with a bunch of Bajans that you don't know jumping up and down.
Oh, I
and it's
see.
like, how did I get here? But yeah, there's a whole psychology behind it. Why do we do it? I don't know. I guess it's just like any other animal group with its own particular social
animals,
hierarchies.
animal
Yes,
behavior.
I will put it down to animal behavior. That's all that it could really be described as. I can't think it's anything conscious, because as you say, you would just go, what's wrong with going and hailing the body, like what's just go and say hi, and if they don't say a thing, you move on. But I don't like
So
that.
my thing is good. A little good can't hurt nobody. Good is a Bajan acknowledgement. We do it in passing. We do it with loose acquaintances.
Yes.
Good is a phrase of acknowledgement, a passing phase of acknowledgement used between loose acquaintances when socializing. Good is saying that I posted on my Facebook when I started to learn Bajan hashtag, and I had people coming at me at my status at me, talking about how I define it wrong, or how the way their father used to use it versus their grandfather used to use it, and all this kind of thing. But I just wanted to mention that today, because to me, good, that can't hurt nobody in the context that we're talking about. And it's one of the terms that I'll be featuring in my book, which will be coming out by the end of this year. 50 to 100 pages of learned Bajanisms, just like we here talking about. So you could look out for that coming out later this year. That is my little plug. And back to the discussion.
Your shameless plug,
My shameless segue too.
Yeah, exactly.
So listen though, I want to roll it back a little bit and look at this whole thing about not speaking. Was that age that we reach? Because they got children in primary school that don't speak to one another.
No.
It don't start that early, right?
Don't start that early.
So when was that age that we reach?
When it start becoming these kind of hierarchies of who you
When
can
it
speak
becomes
to.
so serious, this thing of
that
speaking
is
and
a
not
good-
speaking to people.
I think possibly around that, when you that working world stage, probably let's say I would like to say
That
23, 24, yeah, up to 45. Yeah, that hierarchy now is still going on for years. And yes, you think everybody will just be cool and in the fat and you're jumping up and down. Like, some people are idiots
Listen,
and are obnoxious and will deliberately do the hierarchy thing just to almost get under your skin so that they could feel superior. So it's like sometimes it's like you have no choice but to play the game, because it's like, I'm not gonna engage in this nonsense with you. It's not I deliberately do it, but there of course everybody's not a monolith. So there's not gonna be one cookie cutter shit, one size fits all thing that everybody runs into. So there are gonna be people with different personalities and different ways that they interact and stuff like that.
so like, are you talking and I just seeing the classes
Yeah,
of
that's
Bajan
it.
culture, and not
That's
even
it.
classes that, in my opinion, really exist or mean
Yeah.
anything, but they exist in our
They
heads.
exist in people's heads. That's absolutely correct.
So it's like a reinforcement of those classes. Luke talking about 23, 24. The first time I remember somebody not speaking to me who I was supposed to know. You know, I don't have any recollection of
What?
secondary school. Like, you used
Yeah,
to
that- I
get school in the morning and say good morning. I don't remember anything
I
about
think
that.
so.
But I got BCC, left my secondary school and went BCC, but some men up there, I had taken a year of exchange, so they were at BCC ahead of me. So in theory, they were established.
Right.
And I got there, and I expect to hail these men because these men went to school with me, and no biggie, just yeah, man, and nothing. So I guess they were established, and I was not.
You
so
were not.
I
You were a
was-
rookie.
I
You
was
had
a- I
no
was a
come
pleb.
down.
I don't know
Exactly.
about learn,
How
no,
dare
gang
you
grab-
address us? You must be addressed first. That type of thing.
If they see me talking to somebody important, I know it no be worthy.
It's a different, exactly.
Or if we run into one another in effect for crop over.
That is it. That is exactly it. And they will go back after the fact to not speaking to you.
So I got a whole set of scenarios here, just making sure I'm in order.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole idea today was to pitch a bunch of scenarios to Luke.
Yes.
And this is the game. Do you speak to the person or not speak to the person if ... So I pitch these scenarios to Luke. He tells me whether or not, in his opinion, because you might feel different, whether or not you speak to the person in this instance. Number one, you never met this person. You never met them in person, but they comment on all your social media posts, and you ran into them in a fat Sheraton Mall, anywhere.
This happened to me already, and it was
I hope everybody
Instagram.
watching.
She living overseas now, so but it was Instagram, and she used to comment on my stuff, and I used to comment on her stuff, and they ran into her at an event. I was like, "Hey, how are you?" The girl gave me the
Blank.
blankest stare ever. Like, who are you, and why are you talking to me?
And she used to call personal Instagram.
Yes, my personal Instagram. So I was like, after that, I was like, let me take these comments with a grain of salt and not actually feel like me and the people is buddy. So I would try to tread lightly, maybe it's like, hey, I will have to think really long. It's like, I know you from social media. I should speak to you because I know you, we get along well. But on social media, so why wouldn't I speak to you in person? But people could be very funny.
That's your problem in life.
That is my problem in
You
life.
saw a like when you post as an endorsement.
Exactly. But I would give I've met a lot of people on Twitter now who are not like that. They see you in public and come and hear you and talk to you. So no, yes, I would speak. That's what I would say.
Oh, that didn't hurt you for life. That didn't cut you for life. Very well, sir. So next scenario, number 2. You are friends or acquaintances with a person, but their good friend horn your good friend. And just for the folks overseas, horning is cheating on with.
Cheating, that's right.
Right. So your friends are acquaintances with this person, but their good friend horn your good friend. You both know this. And do you speak to this person if you run into them? Oh,
Yes. I don't personally believe in picking up fire rage, but it wouldn't be a big halo. Just say, hey, how you going, and keep it moving.
but it ain't gotta be fire rage. Those signs of solidarity, because you feel like
True.
if you speak your friend, your good
Exactly.
friend, it gonna be an issue for you because you're
Exactly.
supposed
So they are friends with somebody who harmed my good friend,
to,
right?
right. You get harmed by association.
Right, exactly. Right. No. So they are friends. So they are just a friend with somebody else who harmed
we
my
both-
friend.
All right.
Right. So we are
you
both
and
mutual
me,
friends. Right.
You
yeah.
and me run into one another. Your friend harmed my friend.
Yeah.
Do we speak? Do I speak
Yeah,
to you?
why that's cool. If it was
okay.
you that do the horning, no, then I can't speak at all
Well, then
because
that's very different.
exactly. I'd be like, I really want,
That is a very different level. Scenario number 3: the person goes to your old church, but you had a public backslide.
No, I passed you like the bus. Acknowledging you.
Why
I
that
had a
different?
public backslide. Nah.
Number 1, number 2 is yeses. Why does it no?
I can't go you embarrassing me in public. Suppose they come and talk to you and you shame me. Nah, negative.
They can shame you. This thing's serious.
Yeah, it's serious. It's serious business. So
Suppose
it's
it's
like,
them that had the public backslide.
I can't acknowledge them. I can't, I can't endorse that. That's that kind of bad behavior, We don't endorse that. This church is not that kind of church.
One of your Twitter followers who left a F up comment on your Twitter or IG on one of your posts. Do you acknowledge this person?
Absolutely not.
No?
Absolutely not. No, people. More later than not, if you left, if you left a funny comment on my post, I would have had to respond in a not so nice way. That's right.
You just can't leave things alone.
That's right. So I try to mellow out a little bit on Twitter now. So I try to leave things alone and leave people talking to themselves. But for the most part, I would have probably left a comment and we would have rubbed edges. So one of the people that I would see with his sunglasses on and pretend I don't see him going in that direction.
Already. Well, I got a nice convoluted scenario for you here. It's a little, it can stick with me, but I want to shout out Nicole for giving me this. I was asking friends to pitch scenarios to me over the weekend. Shout out Nicole for this one. So your girl is getting jumped down in a fete by a fella, You went to said fete, but the video of this juke down went viral. So next time you see the guy who is doing the juking down, do you speak to him?
That's a good one. That is a good one. Okay.
Thanks,
Nicole. Can I say I would speak to him if he speaks to me first?
Yeah, what's the difference?
Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's fine.
What's the difference?
Why would I acknowledge him first?
Why not?
Because that's just not. He has to. I have to. If I acknowledge him first, it looks bad. It looks like it's kind of like.
You mean if everybody around
dynamics.
the scenario knows?
No, not necessarily. It needs for my peace of mind, for him to be able to say, "Hey, look how you going." Oh, okay, yeah, well, man, I didn't see the whole thing's going.
Well, I feel a little bit differently about this one.
What do you
I'll add
feel?
A comment on this one. I like most Bajan people have been hard in my life, and I feel like if the person was somebody I speak to before, as long as they don't act funny, I will continue to acknowledge them because it's pride. It's like if I don't then speak, it's like
you feel something now. You feel a type of way.
So no, in fact, it's a little embarrassing because it went viral, but at the end of the day, it's fat culture, right?
Right, so, it is fat culture technically, and then people will forget about it by next week, so it doesn't really matter.
So I could almost go ahead and jump ahead and guess how Luke gonna feel about this one, but I can still try Addy. You and a friend were supposed to hang out. They cancel on you, but next thing you see them tag in a mutual friend post out at said event or venue.
And this is the event that we were supposed to go ahead together?
Yes.
And then cancel on me, I went with somebody else?
Yes. Do you subsequently speak to this person?
Of course not. What? But you ain't got no respect. You even got tagged in the picture. You didn't even remove the tag.
Hard.
Yeah. You didn't even remove you disrespectful.
That's a straight disrespect. So this one is maybe more so for ladies out here, but we could still discuss it. I had a female friend ask me if she should shout the girl in the fete who happened to be wearing, guess your head nod, the same outfit as she.
I thought, but I would think men would do that. Like they would be like, you go on the same shirt as somebody else. Yes, I see men do that in Awaken already. Had on the same shirt and say, hey, and then jumping out together and never know one another.
Oh, you had.
Yeah, but it's alcohol.
You would do it outside the fete?
No,
when
absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely. But them was in the fete, and they thought that it would have been a thing. But I would figure that women would be like looking at one another up and down, and like, how fucking dare she, like.
Well, I guess it depends on who figured it up better.
Yeah, that's true. But that is very true. I figure that women would do like, shoo, and then would be at different ends of the fete and not be that interested,
Well, listen, this has been Fat Friends. This is a short show.
Very short.
I had a blast discussing this with you. I hope that anybody who was watching, especially if you are not Bajan, that you come away feeling as though, hey, that's how this going on in Barbados at parties. This is how they roll. So, Luke, thanks for coming through.
Thank you for having me so much, Corey.
So big up Bazadi. You want to tell the people any...
I don't
plans,
have
programs you
any.
got?
No, that we got coming out. No. I will probably just the most I could think of is we probably got Independence calendar coming out.
COVID bracket.
Bracket everything, but Independence seems to be catching back itself, so we can
Also.
probably have that a lot of events coming out, Harbor Master coming back, all kind of thing. So
Oh, it's like,
they will got a whole set of things going down into December. Stuff
all right,
like
I ain't gonna talk about how I feel about that on air, but I'm glad that good times are being had by
Yes.
somebody. Might
Yes.
not be me, but cool. I wanna shout out my engineer. Thanks, Jamar, for being here and all your work today. I wanna shout out Sun Isle Technologies Solutions for putting this on. And yeah, I want you to look out for my book. I want you to give the page a like if you're watching this and if you enjoy the show and if you want to see more content like this.
Could
Check us
you
out on Facebook.
spell it out.
Learn Bajan,
Yeah,
as in learn Learn,
that's right.
and then Bajan Bajan.
All one word. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, you could.
And that's on
Yeah.
Facebook.
And that's also our Twitter handle.
Twitter
You
is
never
on
just-
Instagram.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not Twitter. It's our Instagram. handle. I
Instagram,
don't
there
have
we
a
go.
Twitter yet. I ain't got there yet. But maybe in the future. I never spelled Bajan before. I just realized.
Wow.
It spelled very
Wow,
weird. Never did
yeah.
it out loud. That felt very weird. But anyhow, folks, it's been a blast.
It's been fun.
I'll check you back in 2 weeks. Our show is every 2 weeks, 3:30ish. You can check us live on Facebook.
Yeah.
Look forward to that.